Cool, got it. So, welcome, guys, to the first LinkedIn for Breakfast of 2025. God, I feel like we've done this kickoff session. This must be what the third year kicking off in this kind of ilk. So, welcome on, guys, and delighted to have so many of you here for today's journey, today's magical mystery marketing tour. That we do. If anybody's here for the first time, what we do every Wednesday at 9 a.m. GMT is go deep on LinkedIn. We take a slice of LinkedIn and we actually unpeel that and give you some ideas, some practical, actionable tips. That's the whole game plan for it. And there's a few things I'd like to just kind of ping out in terms of mission because I think it's important to kind of show you, why are we here? What's the whole point of this? And our mission is to make this the best place on the planet for entrepreneurs to unlock the full potential of LinkedIn for both business development, that's the whole like lead generation piece, but also brand expansion. That's the kind of the reach, getting your name out there, getting people seen. And we want to provide that to you for free. That's the whole point of this. The whole community and these sessions is completely complimentary because it's all in our mission to make this the best place on the planet to learn LinkedIn. So tell your friends, invite them along. It'll be great to keep on growing this network. To continue that growth, actually, we've got 3.2 thousand members, which we're very proud of, in our free community, LinkedIn for Breakfast, which Flora usually very beautifully puts into the chat just now. If anybody's not in this community, it's a great community. Let me just kind of give you a couple of reasons why this is of benefit. Oh, hello. Let me just get rid of that. The reason why this community can really benefit you is not only do we have these events that we run, but we have a classroom in here of content and small training that you can jump into. Many of them are broken down into small sort of 4-day challenges where you got like a 15-minute video and you do a thing, another sort of 5-minute video and you do a thing. So the whole point of this, it's broken down into slices so you can work upon a lot of this stuff. Plus, we have something called a pod. Now, like it or not, it's not when we talk about pods, it's like an engagement family. The whole point of this is so it's like a power team for your LinkedIn posts. We just do it once a week and we dissect it in half. We have one power team for people who are targeting business to consumer or business to small business. And then we've got another power team here for people who are targeting corporate, right? And so inside here, every Tuesday, lunchtime, we all just spade just a half an hour slice and we go put our links into our posts and we all comment and like on each other's posts. And by just doing it once a week and having different people each time that do it and to really give help and support to people, it actually will help you to get that push and that reach, but it's not spammy and it's not going to create the problems where people use these pods like every single day, 2 or 3 times a day and get themselves in trouble. This is very much a friendly, more like a team of people kind of helping each other out type mentality. So a few things there to jump into. All of them are my exact favorite number, which is free. So please do get in there and start playing with that stuff. Right. So what's our agenda for today? The first thing is that we're going to go over what I see the kind of the big 6 things for you to really look on and start adding into your armory for 2025. And it's been updated because we did touch on these last year when we did that called a Christmas speed networking thing, but there's a few bits that we've updated, fleshed it out a little bit more. So it's going to give you a bit more context today if you were on that session previously. Second part is we're going to ask you to, some questions or even for you to add some ideas and trends in the second part to get a bit of interaction. So once I stop yabbiting on, so I'll only talk for about sort of 15 minutes or so, and then I'll push it back into some further engagement comments. And then what we're going to do new for 2025, we tested it out last year, is we're actually going to finish the event with breakout rooms. And so when we finish the event, we're just going to put you all into breakout rooms for about 3 or 4 people in each room. And we will then close the meeting just before 10 o'clock. But you will just finish in those breakout rooms. So it gives you a really nice opportunity to meet new people, have a chat, kind of download the content of today, maybe swap some details, LinkedIn connections and stuff. So it just gives an element of networking at the end as well for it. So we won't come back together at the end. We'll just simply just close the rooms at just before 10 o'clock. So working on that. So I'd love some more feedback on that. It was very positive last time because it's all about connection as well as information at LinkedIn for Breakfast. Great. So 2025, the big LinkedIn shift. And we see this as LinkedIn really starting to come into the general consciousness. Obviously, its history, it started off as a bit of a recruitment platform. Then it went into the biggest business networking social media platform, or business networking platform. Now it's becoming more of a social platform. And because it's having to compete with share price, etc. Obviously, it's owned by Microsoft, but they're looking to try and monetize. They're looking to bring the ads platform in. They're looking to try and create those important things, which is all around linger time for users on their platform and engagement on their platform. They want you to spend more time on there because the more time you spend on there, the more ads they can serve you, the more ads they can serve you, the more money they can make out of you. And it's just the facts. It's just like it or not, and most of us don't like it. It's the facts that before they didn't even have ads on it. Now, ads plus subscriptions like Premium and Sales Navigator are all things that they are building more and more because it's the goose that's laying the golden egg at the moment for Microsoft because they know that they can monetize this harder. And so the algorithm, which is very generous for organic content at the moment, is also starting to develop into something that's purposely trying to get us hooked on the platform to be able to then serve those more ads. So just remember that. That's important to know. And so it's having to make these shifts to track that user behavior and that linger time. And there's nothing more obvious about this change than number one in the six that I'll talk about today, which is around LinkedIn short form video. Now, yes, these kind of videos on LinkedIn have been long a part of LinkedIn and going live on LinkedIn, etc., has been a long a part of it. But here's the thing that's really changed. The way that people consume it is much more phone based, and these 1 minute style or up to 1 minute style short form videos are the things that are really breaking through. And LinkedIn recently updated their app and made this button. Can you see that button at the bottom? And if you're all looking at it, and actually, I was speaking to someone Tuesday, I think this week, yesterday, who hadn't updated their app and they didn't have that button. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then they went and updated their app, and boom, that button's on there. So I saw this change happen literally. I think it was about end of November, where that button actually became there. I can't remember what was on there previously, but they've added that into the app. And not just that, if you go onto the app now and check it out, you go into this part, you click on this, and suddenly the user interface, and I'll just tell Gary V to shut up, is of course he's there, is like this. It's the scroll up. It's that kind of classic almost Instagram style, looking, tapping, I'm liking things, user base, which is not what they had, and it's not where they've been because they've been very much like a desktop style working on it. And that's been really, really interesting. But here's the thing, when any platform actually goes for a particular type of media, it gives a bias to the reach. And so your short form videos, as long as they're filmed in that portrait, not landscape, but portrait way, they're sub 1 minute, they're tagged well with the right hashtags related to that content, they will do better and they will have a bias in terms of reach, views, and if you can get it right, also in terms of engagement. So super important and something that you should go out the blocks in 2025 hard at because that's where the bias in terms of reach is for engagement. So super, super important to try and do it. How do you do these things? Well, the ones that work really well is it isn't just you telling business advice, which can be a way of doing it, but also a day in the life or what you're doing, or a little bit more of the social side of business, as opposed to that kind of content driven piece, which can do well, the content driven piece. But I'm not talking about you just picking your kids up from school or that kind of classic, kind of boring, monotonous stuff that you might see on, say, a TikTok or whatever, but something that is a little bit more about behind the scenes, you doing stuff, the day in a life type working, that more honest way can be good. And it doesn't have to be super polished to do well. What you can use though is something like this free tool. So CapCut, this is a tool that we recommend. It costs our favorite number, which is free, and you can use it to put those subtitles onto your video. Does it really well. There's an AI built-in functionality that will then read your video and then be able to help you with those AI pieces. There's also excuse me. Don't know where that one came from, but bless me and all the rest of it. There's a Opus Clip as well. Is another free software that you can play with as well. We like CapCut. Well, we like both, to be honest with you. What I would say, Opus Clip got its name for taking long form videos and slicing and dicing it into like seven different sort of short form videos. You see that quite a lot where someone's had a nice podcast and they've had like six or seven videos that have been sliced up. That I would say is something that you probably want to think about, and not necessarily do that. You almost want to think about content and creating that content for short form first. The reason why that can work far better is that you would just come across better. You can have a beginning, middle, and end, a natural way of being able to put things. You can have a call to action, and by just filming the 1 minute video bespoke as opposed to trying to chop up long form, it'll be better. So, for example, if I'm trying to chop up this event, well, if I'm screen sharing, then there's a little picture of me in the window top right. It's never going to cut up into something. So just get your phone out, get it in a selfie position, and just talk to your phone and do a 1 minute video. Bam, upload it into CapCut, or send it off to a VA who can do it for you. Jobs are good, right? That can work super, super well. And of course, CapCut and stuff with the transcripts can help you chuck that into ChatGPT, ask it to create the content for the post that surrounds that with the hashtags, and it is a relatively quick to do. Cool. So that's tip number one. The second tip here is something that we actually did as a 4 day challenge within LinkedIn for breakfast. And it's about really using AI effectively to create a LinkedIn AI assistant. And this can help you to be able to do so much more in the short amount of time. Do you remember we talked about this pod? And when we talking about podding, we want to be able to just say, use a short amount of time to be able to have a big impact on the platform as you go. Because if you spend too much time on LinkedIn, honestly, you'll just fall out of love with it and you won't be consistent. What we try and say to people is, spend half an hour on the platform in the day. And if you can spend that half an hour, the first 15 minutes, use that for commenting, liking, posting, connecting with people, then drop your post to actually then put your post in, and then spend another 15 minutes commenting, liking, posting, connecting, right? And so this becomes your sort of half an hour type window, but it gives the algorithm what it wants, which is engagement before posting. If you just post and go, or if you're using a scheduler for your posting, then you're not giving the algorithm what it wants to see, which is that engagement and linger time on it. And if you spend that linger time, actually, you get rewarded with better reach for your post because you've done the before and after work on the social media platform, right? So that can really help. Otherwise, if you're just doing that, you might end up just having the reach of your post far less because you haven't done this and you haven't done that, right? So that's what's going to really help you to drive forward your posts. Now, if you're going to do that, well, it's good to actually then think about, well, instead of just spending time to do three people's posts, I might be able to use an AI assistant that's in my voice to be able to do 13 people's comments and likes, which gives me 13 connections and commenting and potential opportunities with those people to build um, that business development conversation stream. But also, my reach will go further because that gives me 13 people's comments where other people might comment back to me and they might see me, and my kind of distribution of Richard goes further and wider within the platform. So just to give you an idea here, it's actually, I know I talk about this thing being totally free. It's the only thing that we actually charge for in LinkedIn for Breakfast, and it's $40 for that 4-day challenge. The reason why is because Nino here, who's an actual LinkedIn AI assistant, basically an AI ninja, did this session with us. So it's a little thank you to him if you are going to jump onto this. And it guides you through step by step how to create this AI assistant. But what's the end result of this thing? Well, for me, when I have this, you create something that's a bespoke GPT, like an actual custom GPT in this. And by the way, if anybody's here for $1 Million Sprint, you get this for free as part of being part of my client group. But obviously, for anybody else, feel free to just jump on it. But by creating this, I can create a custom GPT. And what does that mean is that I can load this GPT with a briefing of what I'm all about and actually the kind of comments that I want to have. And so if anybody hasn't seen how you do that, here's ChatGPT here. And on the left-hand side, I've got my custom GPTs. And if I edit this GPT, and I'm going to go very quickly, and it's probably going to go deep, and not everybody's going to pick up what I'm talking about, but you can always watch this back, right? Here, when you create it, you can actually configure a GPT and you can give it instructions on how you want this thing to play out. And you can upload a document that's your brand kit, which basically tells it, hey, my voice says this, and I don't like these words, and I do like these words, and I like to be able to create things in this way. If you want to see what one looks like, it looks a bit like this. It's the stuff that we've made. Although that looks very techy because it's in a text document, ultimately it's just giving some ideas about what we are, what our brand kit and what we talk about. We upload it and now it's always referenced when we do that. And the beauty is I can then share that with my VA and then my VA can use this to be able to create comments. So if we just do a live example, I just go on to LinkedIn here and let's go find someone. So let's have a look at this. Right, good stuff. Okay, so we got someone here. Here, there's a post here. I'm not even going to read the post because the beauty of this is we don't need to. I can press get started and it's going to ask me, okay, do I want to do a social media comment or do I want to write an article? So I can press one. I want to do a social media comment. Okay, so then it's going to ask me for post descriptions about the detail, the author, etc. So I'm just simply going to copy and paste all of this, right? Job done, and I'm going to stick it in here, and I'm just going to press paste. Now, it will now give me a summary of what that post's about, which is great. And then it's going to ask me what my type of comment would want to be. So I can go, okay, so now all I have to do is read the summary. Personal story, okay, intense stress. Okay, good stuff. So he's got his two contrasting photos. Author details, cool. And so now what I can do is I can show my appreciation for him, or I can share related insight about resilience, or I can post a thoughtful question to engage further. So I'm just going to go and say, let's pose a thoughtful question to engage further. And so now it's going to query my brand kit in my voice and the reference, and it's going to give me this comment. And of course, remember, I don't have to be the person doing this. So it's going to be sharing, say, thank you for sharing this. Nicholas, your story is powerful, reminder of resilience required in entrepreneurship and strength we often discover during toughest times. I'm curious, what's the most pivotal change or action you took during that challenging period that helped turn this thing around? I think it may help in our community could benefit from hearing how you people missed the storm. Right, wicked. Okay, so I can just take that, copy it, stick it into here. And as I do it, I might just, make it a little, thank you for sharing this. And I might just take that last bit off just for speed of doing it. Jobs are good, right? Bam. Next, right? And so it's about trying to make sure that they feel natural. Look, there's loads of AI generated comments that look awful, but things that I feel like, oh, actually, each time it produces this, I go, actually, that's something that I would potentially say, right? And so hence why you now can do this. And if you see something to go, oh, I don't like the I'm curious starting a sentence. So I can go, oh, I don't like that. Okay. I can go into my AI thing and I can actually then say in here, language or words to avoid. And then I can say, actually, don't add this. So for me, I'd say, do not use fast paced because I don't like that. Or do not use exclamation marks at the ends of sentences because I don't like that, right? And so it just allows you to keep on editing each time and just to keep on improving it. So that's a big explanation for one point, but I hope you can see that AI is here to stay. And actually, all it is trying to make you go further and faster. And so I got a synopsis of that post. So I was quicker to read it. I was able to create a post or a comment that I felt was right. And I was able to put that back in. And then bam, I can move on to the next one. And so that's where this is going to come in. So it's pretty cool, right? And hopefully you can see a little bit underneath the carpet there. Good. All right. Back to something easier to think about carousels. So a little bit like the reels, carousels have actually they launched a couple of years ago, etc. They were going to get banned, but then suddenly LinkedIn reversed because there was a lot of comments about oh carousels are going to be stopped, etc., etc. And then it didn't happen and they are still here. And the interesting thing about carousels is it still works with that mantra that we discussed with why LinkedIn is making this, why these changes, is because if you think about a carousel, instead of scrolling, what you do is you stop and then you start swiping left to right to read through the carousel. So your linger time is higher, your engagement time in the post is higher, and so therefore it's also consuming content quicker and easier, but yet you are engaging to consume the content. And so carousels are awesome. And so why do I like this? Well, actually, built in, you don't even have to create a clever GPT for this. If I just go into the normal chat GPT, so this is just me clicking normal GPT, create a LinkedIn um, carousel for me about a great, I don't know, LinkedIn profile. Right. Bam. Right. ChatGPT knows what a LinkedIn carousel is. It knows what would work, and it also will bring in statistics and facts, percentages, and comments that will help you, right? So ChatGPT knows this, and so you can take this super easy, and you can see here, look, slide one, a cover, how to create a LinkedIn profile, make your profile work without this, right? Slide number two, your LinkedIn profile isn't just a CV, it's your personal branding tool. Fun fact, 80% of B2B leads on social media come from LinkedIn, right? Can you see how this is cool information? That's super easy with emojis and stuff in here. And it's bet you'll even give me a call to action at the end. Will it give me, yeah, cool closing. LinkedIn profile equals this. What's the one thing you'll do today? Let me know in the comments, right? So it's got an ending comment. Now, all you have to do is then go over to one of my other favorite tools, which costs exactly like, my favorite number, Canva, LinkedIn, carousel templates, my pedigree chums. Click on this. Look, there's 541 for you to choose from. You simply take your ChatGPT piece in, you jump into this Canva, you go, oh, look at this. I like the look of this one, or this one, or this one. And I then can go and start adding my little, I can customize this design. I can then go add my logo and change the colors to my branding and then chuck in these tips straight from ChatGPT into this. Obviously, as I'm editing this, I'm taking, some of this and I'm tweaking it as I'm editing it, or I'm just sending it across to my oh, hello, send it into there, bam. And as I'm doing this, I can send this stuff over to my VAs, and my VAs can do this, etc. And there you go. You'll have to do a little bit of wording, but I'm just showing you, just for demonstration purposes, that they are super easy to create. You download it as content, and then jobs are good. And but the thesis is the thing that I want you to know. That's the practical way of doing it, but the thesis behind it is linger time and engagement, and that's why carousels do well. Cool. Right. Going to speed up. Next piece, your profile is a landing page. So I want you to look at this and think, actually, if my profile is getting views, then why am I not thinking about it more from a lead generation perspective? Now, I'm just showing you this because I've gone super aggressive on this, and you don't have to go as kind of full hog as I am. But look, you're getting 1,500 profile views, and also you're getting 6,700 post impressions or people, etc. And the more that you do, the more that that will grow. These figures are slightly skewed because obviously it's been over Christmas. I haven't done as much. But the point being is you're getting that volume of people coming onto your profile, and yet it's just sitting there saying things. What saying some sort of history stuff, which you can do in the experience, but what about having a key call to action? So we do a free LinkedIn profile audit where you can actually jump on and have your profile audited for free. And I've really majored with that. And I've talked about, hey, this LinkedIn profile, check out my LinkedIn profile and scroll down the page. So if I just show you in the live version here. So come on, load. You can say, hey, let's audit your LinkedIn profile for free. Scroll down, and here, scrolling down, and then bam, pinned in my features section is a link to my free LinkedIn profile audit, as well as also the second thing that I'll be talking about in a second, is my newsletter. So these are two lead generation ways. And so we're hoovering up the traffic is, and we're funneling it towards a call to action. So you don't have to go as aggressive, but I would certainly think about your features section having just very two distinct things that you're trying to really funnel people into. And the beauty of it is that you can link out to a page that's dedicated. And so from us, I'm linking to this page, and this page is on my website, and it's only for the LinkedIn traffic. So I can use my analytics to go, okay, this page is getting X amount of views per week. And then I create a specific event in my calendar. And that specific event in my calendar is is tagged as LinkedIn. You can see here this round robin LinkedIn. So I know only people who have seen this page and only people who have booked that meeting have come from LinkedIn. So I can see what my return on investment is from LinkedIn. How cool is that, gang? So finally, you can actually have some data and some measurable, tangible information on what your return is. And actually, that then can tell you how successful is this page? Because if I'm getting 100 views on this page, but I'm only getting three people signing up for the audit, then maybe it's not converting as well as I'd want, because maybe I want a 10% conversion rate as opposed to a 3% conversion rate. So should I put a video on here of me explaining what this audit is? Should I add some testimonials underneath for people who have had the audit that really liked it? And then now I'm optimizing that page to not just have traffic come to it from LinkedIn, but also get a better conversion rate on that page. Cool, huh? Right, wicked. Next thing that we want to think about, right? LinkedIn events. We have to try and get people off the platform and into a place where they are consuming you, right? We're talking about going from awareness to consider to convert, right? So we get people to build awareness with you. You're connecting with them, you're messaging them, you're commenting back on their stuff on LinkedIn. If you can drag them into something where you're spending more quality time with them, such as they're on a live with you through LinkedIn, or they're coming along and booking in and actually joining an event, something like this, then you can actually start to really develop bigger and better relationships, longer term relationships with people. It's more than just commenting and liking on the platform. And so LinkedIn is great for this. And by using the LinkedIn events feature, there's some really useful things that you can do. You can use 1,000-person invite feature. So if I'm trying to invite people to my event, if I go onto the platform, just quickly find it. Here we go, events. I can invite people. I can share this, right? So you can use this share feature and use this invite button here. and I can then go and use the search criteria at the top, check the industry, say I want to bring coaches and consultants, or actually I'm just going to use something else because we probably maxed that out. Technology and media, right? So here's all the technology and media people. I can click this box here and I can bulk invite people to the event for free using LinkedIn's tools, which is really useful. You can use about 1,000 people a week to do this, and you can help to get more people attending, more people registering, and therefore more brand development and awareness, but also more lead generation in the process. Cool. And the last thing that I want to just quickly share with you on this is newsletters. So we do a session on this in LinkedIn for Breakfast, and newsletters are super important because, oh, disregard this. Um, we love a newsletter because let's go back to that profile. You can do it's a one-click subscribe, right? So if I get someone to describe, oh hello, um, if I go down to that, sorry, clicking too many buttons now. When people come here, look, you see they can click and press subscribe to a newsletter. That's an instant subscribe. It's a one-click subscribe, which means that that's a lead that gets generated. And then I jump onto this newsletter, which, by the way, newsletters are just articles that you tag in as newsletter. As I say, there's a free training in LinkedIn for Breakfast shows you how to do it. Only I can click on this, which is how many subscribers I've got. And I can see these people who are subscribers. And I can then see the people at the top are my first subscribers. And I can then go connect. So this is Denise, who's just subscribed. So I can then press connect, and she's going to be far more likely to connect with me. And so I can also then start to message these people who are just joining who have started to subscribe, and I can build a conversation. I can be saying, hey, thanks for the chat. So I haven't spoken to since 2023, but I can say, thanks for subscribing to my newsletter. How are things, right? So I can rekindle the conversation because she made the first move or she re-engaged. So it's a really lovely way of starting or developing further relationships and conversations, right? Cool, cool, cool. Okay, gang. Back into the room. So please do get your newsletters sorted for this year. Things to think about when you're putting the analytics together, just to help to conclude when you're looking at this. Remember, engagement rate over views. So yes, it's lovely to have views and impressions on your content, but actually the more engagement that you get, the more LinkedIn will like it, and therefore it will give you even more views. So if you want to really get further reach, really think that. The next thing is around conversation depth. So DM, but when you're DMing or commenting, try and ask further questions to create more comments that then create more comments. The depth of that will really help. Think about your newsletter subscriber growth and actually track it. Make a note of that. And also post saves, comments, and shares are far better than likes, which hopefully you'll kind of realize anyway. So we're going to jump into a bit of a quick Q&A section in a second. And then, as I say, at quarter two, we'll finish the main piece and we will then open up some breakout rooms. About quarter two or 10 to, we'll open up those breakout rooms. So before we do, you probably are like, whoa, there's a lot of things going on there. And there's a lot that's different. So we are offering these free 2025 LinkedIn profile audits. And if you are interested in having your profile looked at by us, I'm just going to put a comment in the chat here. Oh, hello. And let me just X out of this and just stick this link in the chat. It's a free session. It's one-to-one with me or a member of my team, and we go directly onto your profile. For 45 minutes, we'll sit there with you and we'll go through different ideas and techniques on how you can edit that profile, improve that profile, but also think about your LinkedIn strategy and the things that we've talked about. So do jump onto that. They are limited. If I just show you, there's not masses of them available. So do jump onto that. Here we go. So when you jump into here, there's a few that are available here. when it loads up. So yeah, grab one. So we've got one left today, three tomorrow, three on Friday. So and then only Monday, Tuesday. So there's not mass. There's obviously a load of us on here. So jump into there. It's really worthwhile. It's going to cost you nothing. It's going to give you a great help and support in terms of getting your profile audited and some ideas. So I'll just put the link into the chat there for you to have a look at. Cool. So, David just said, please show us the newsletters link that you just showed us. How do you see those that are not yet connected to you? Okay, cool. So David's basically saying, how do you see the ones that are not connected to you on the newsletter? Okay, good stuff. So if you jump onto the newsletter here, this is the homepage for your newsletter. So you then click on these weekly, underneath weekly publish, you can see subscribers. You click on that and then it will come up. Um, I love this. Babcool. Hi, Kim. Sorry. Right, I loved it. So she's there. So I won't show this anymore because it's a bit unfair because I'm showing her message there. Right. So apologies, Kim, if you're watching this. So here we go. So we've got you'll see here the first degree. You see, I've got Kim here. She's my first degree, so I can just message her. Denise was my second degree, so I could press that connection piece. So Rowan here is my second degree, but I can only follow him because he's got a creator profile. That's his preference and his profile. So what I do is I right click, I open him in a new tab. I then go check him out and I see, do I want to go and connect with him? Deploy, yeah. And so then I go to more and then I can go connect this way. And then I can then go add a note and then I can say, hey, thanks for connecting with my LinkedIn or etc. if I want to, or I can just send without a note. Bam. So that's how you do it. I hope that answers your question. Cool. Who wants to ask another question? Don't worry. If you maybe you've put something in the chat, but there's so much in the chat that I might have missed it. So do you want to just unmute and just ask your question if you've got something in there as I scroll through, or
Yeah.
put the
Hi,
old
Richard.
hello. Go for it.
Hello. Kieran's my name, and hello to everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year, Richard. I'm just getting, I've only discovered you about a week ago, so I'm new. So excuse my ignorance here, but this is my first session. Uh, I have to say that was just absolutely so powerful. Just a few things you showed there. So yeah, you got my attention straight away. I have one question then, please. I haven't. Again, I've been on LinkedIn since I started, but just the normal put it up, forget about it, and never look at it and think I'm going to make £1 million out of people clicking on the link, no input, nothing out. So like I do understand that because I just tend to not prioritize LinkedIn, and I made a decision there that I need to now. So my question is this. I have a fairly large B2B company, right? It's a technology company. And again, I have spent so much time, I just hand everything over to agencies and this and that. And I need to take control of LinkedIn myself because I understand the power of it. The second thing is I have a small B2C company that's just more of an interest company that I want to really grow. And I've just always wanted to try and be successful at a B2C company, right? So again, I'm just out in Facebook ads, doing all of that stuff. So it's just a big black hole, and you're lucky to get your investment back, but you're hoping that the recurring revenue that in years 2 and 3 will monetize that channel. But I just think that LinkedIn will be a brilliant place because the second company is a financial one, and probably the people profile on the second company will be good, right? For the B2C and LinkedIn. My question here is, I have two conflicting personalities, right? I have my B2C and I have my B2B, okay? So my B2B I view as more important because that's the big deal size, and much slower, and it's a big trust factor in that one. And then I have the B2C. And I just want to see your views on if you come across that like it's kind of like, do you want a diesel car and or an electric car? And I have two cars, and it's kind of which profile am I up on, and which do I take as my main profile? So do you get my messaging?
Yeah. Yeah, it's super difficult, particularly if you're going to really try and work it as a personal brand. LinkedIn company pages are difficult because they are harder to be able to grow. You can't send connection requests as a company page. You can't proactively start a conversation as a company page. Once someone actually messaged your company page, you can then communicate with them, but they've got to actually message you. You can have a newsletter set up on a company page, and you obviously can have multiple employees managing that one company page. So when you get a situation like yours, it's almost like you've got to kind of choose which horse you want to
Okay.
ride and then go hard at it. Or if you don't want to, then you've got to kind of work yourself as being hey, I'm a, portfolio entrepreneur. These are my different projects, and try and really position it as hey, these are the two things that I'm working on at the moment. But it will feel a little bit confused because one minute I'm connecting with you because I'm interested in what you're doing B2C, and then suddenly you're talking about this B2B thing. And unless they are really easily interlinked from a content perspective, you are going to confuse your audience. So that's where it comes in quite difficult. So what we normally say to people is either pick one and just go for it with a sort of a side note about the other one, or try and get a salesperson or another person who's an employee, maybe in the B2B one, who's going to be really kind of pushing that piece, to be able to work two different profiles in those two different areas. It's not it's not easy because you to get attention, you've got to do it over time and build an audience over time. And that audience will know you for what you're all about, and then they'll go and buy. So the ones that do it really well. So say the big personalities like a an Alex Hormozy or or Grant Cardone, etc. They are massive content producers within a niche. So Hormozy is very much marketing and online and beef business growth. Gary V's similar, or Grant Cardone is a wealth and finance side, and so they talk about that, and then they filter people into the right products. But they've instead of pitching a company, they've pitched a topic, and they've gone deep on that topic. So are these businesses in different topics?
The answer is yes. One is kind of a technology IoT business, and the other is a financial, stock market type business. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you probably want to think about, well, maybe kind of go a
No,
bit more
no,
top level.
like I mean, it's been brilliant because yeah, I've made my decision listening to you. So
Oh,
yeah,
good. Okay.
yeah, I'm
Which
going to
one
go
was
the
it?
B2C because that's the one I want.
Great. Well, then you just, completely go full hog for it,
Yeah,
because
all in. Yeah.
we talk about, you want to have a weekly moment, right? So for me, this is my weekly moment. I bring people into an event. I can then update, inform, and en masse can build an audience, right? If a newsletter could be a weekly moment, a LinkedIn Live could be a weekly moment, an event like this could be a weekly moment. You could be doing a long form video like a YouTube as a weekly moment, but have a moment every week that you are making great content, and all those little shorts are pointing towards it. All the little content or the carousels are pointing towards it. So then it's the piece that you're dragging people off LinkedIn to be able to see. So that would be the strategy that I'd say then, if you're now going to go hard on a niche.
Okay. Well, thank you, and I've definitely had my weekly moment. Thanks a million.
No worries. Cheers. Appreciate it. Lyndon, over to you.
Oh, hi, everybody. Yeah, my question is very technical. It's about newsletters. Is there a restriction on weekly newsletters? Because I'm getting blocked. I publish two weekly,
Yeah.
and what's happened is I'm just getting blocked, and they're saying you have to wait 5 days until you can publish another newsletter.
Hmm.
So therefore, I'm publishing some of my editions as articles,
Yeah.
and it's not the same. And so I'm really in a mess now because I've got two groups of subscribers.
Have you got a newsletter on a page and then another newsletter on a different, or is it one
No,
newsletter.
it's all from my profile,
Yeah.
and
The
it's two
reason
distinct
Yeah, the
newsletters.
reason why they'll do that is because when you publish a newsletter, it gets distributed by email to all your
Yeah,
subscribers. And so there'll be
yeah.
an element of LinkedIn trying to look after the subscriber base so they're not getting hammered with emails. And so they probably then put a restriction on file. You're the first person that I've heard that's had that problem. And it might have been, I don't know, any kind of I don't know, people have unsubscribed to it or have not. You haven't got the same engagement on it, perhaps. But I would probably do as they say, just work the one a week and then do
Yeah.
a kind of an article newsletter ratio. It kind of makes sense, right? Because it is getting into people's email inboxes. So LinkedIn's kind of looking after their deliverability because
Do
they
an
don't want to
article.
over deliver
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Okay, great.
Cool. Hope that helps.
Yeah.
Guys, just I'm gonna
Thanks so much.
take no
That's
worry.
great.
I'm gonna take Mary's question, and then what we'll do is we'll go into these breakout rooms
Yeah.
to finish the session. But do remember that there's LinkedIn profile audits, and thank you because of the I'm getting notifications of them getting booked up there. So do be quick and grab the last few remaining LinkedIn profile audits available. You can see them on that link there. So jump into there and thank you for people who have booked them already. Okay, Mary, over to you for the final question before we jump into some breakout rooms and download and have a chat with people. Go for it, Mary.
Oh, good morning. Hi, thanks, Richard. Very quickly, I think my question is very similar to Kieran's in a way. I am a freelance copywriter, and that was what I set my profile and my page was primarily all about, and it still is, except that I now have two other side businesses that I want to publicize because my copywriting has become very quiet of late. So I have to profile other things. Is it possible to have more than one page on a premium subscription or not? Do you know?
It doesn't matter if you've got a premium or not. You can have multiple company pages.
Oh,
And in fact, every time that yeah, in your experience, if you go down and anything's not showing a logo, that means you haven't created a company page, and they want you to create a company page. What do I mean by this? I don't know if Rowan here is going to help me out. He's not. Oh no, he's got 20 experiences, so hopefully he will do. Although he looks like he's worked for big companies, so yes, perfect. Okay, so he's got committee member here at the St. Patrick's Society of Selangor. Interesting.
Selangor, yeah.
Selangor. So you see here, this is basically the placeholder logo, which means he hasn't created a company page. Whereas this one, he has done. So I can click on this logo and it takes me through to this page, right? So you can have as many company pages as you want and you create the page. And if you've got a company page, then you can actually you can invite people to follow. There is an invite feature to get people to follow your company page. That's a way to grow it. So if I was you, I would be using these company pages, maybe creating newsletters as part of these company pages. You can be posting, so the company pages can send out posts. This one is. So you can post together. You can get engagement, which is quite good because you look at this. This is actually, they are receiving 81 likes and some comments in here. So it shows that you can have a heartbeat as a company page and people can follow it. In fact, this is quite a nice one to give as an example here.
Yeah.
And you can have an about section, which then has links to stuff and people can get involved in things. So it works, right?
Okay, I'll look into that. Yeah. Because at the moment my content is now becoming mixed. I
Yeah.
post about I'm a partner with Utility Warehouse.
Yeah.
So and I have to look into whether I'm allowed to create a company page. I might not be allowed to because I'm a
Well, you wouldn't do because you would use theirs.
right.
So they already have one, so that's where you would put it in.
Oh, okay.
So you would have to post that as your profile, not your company page, because you don't own the company.
No,
So,
that's right. I'm a licensed distributor with them.
mm. But I
Um,
also wouldn't necessarily be pushing that on in. If you are doing something like a utility warehouse thing, you can say, yeah, things that people don't know about me is I actually help people to be able to save energy on their bills. And here's one of the ways that I do it. So I'd be almost doing that as a, hey, this is me, I'm a copywriter, but actually some things people don't remember is this. And I would add that type of post in to being like a once a fortnight or once a week type post. And
I'm
you can
doing that at the
just
moment, but I wondered whether it was just diluting or, as you say, confusing the audience because they're suddenly thinking, hey, what? Thought she was a copywriter, and now she's talking about helping
So,
people save
so I'm
on
ref.
energy.
So the way that I'd approach that is reference to be able to say, "Hey, most people know me as a copywriter, but things that you don't know about me is that actually
All right.
I can help you to do this."
Okay.
Or I would tell a story. And you say, actually,
Mm.
one of my copywriting clients that I worked with a couple of years ago reached back out to me because they saw that I actually did this utility warehouse thing, and I was able to save them £300 a year on their bill. Amazing, isn't it? Maybe that's you,
Mm.
right? So you can see how you're putting the context together of keeping the main thing, but we're adding that.
Okay. Right. Okay. That's great. Thanks, Richard. Sounds like you're
Lovely.
already a customer. You seem to know about them.
I've been in small business in the UK for a long time, so you can't go to a business networking group without seeing a distributor. But I do know about them. I love
Good.
it. Right, I'm going to Mia. I'm going to get you to DM me whatever the question is because I'm going to go into the breakout rooms now and give the last 5 minutes to you guys meeting each other. Sorry, I slightly overrun there, but great to see you and thank you all for your participation. And I look forward to helping and talking further with you guys. And let's do these breakout rooms now. So good to see you, and you'll just get a notification that the rooms are going to close. And welcome. To look forward to seeing everybody. Okay, here we go. Going into them now. Thank you everybody for your time. I'm just making sure there's right breakout rooms. And I'm opening the rooms now. Cheers all. Do join your rooms and enjoy the conversations. Cool, Flora. I'll handle the end of this.